why what humanity is going through right now is the true virus. Why the current armed conflict between Russia and Ukraine and what is happening in the world as a whole is the real virus of humanity. As someone who has been trained in being able to see and detect the energetics, one of my specialties is spotting a pattern. In the world of energetics, we say a pattern is a pattern is a pattern, meaning how you do one thing is how you do all things. And here is what I have noticed or what I have seen in observing the conflict between these two countries, but also seeing this scenario play out a number of times. What we are moving through as a humanity is indeed a virus, or more specifically is an autoimmune issue. These are some of the ways that this manifests. So you must understand this is a deep-rooted energy pattern that dates back to tribal wars, or when people have started arriving to different faraway lands and conquering them as their own. The pattern then rooted itself in the collective psyche and began manifesting in various ways, such as body attacking itself. So how does autoimmune issues show up on the collective psyche? An autoimmune health issue is whereby a body attacks itself. It is unable to recognize signals and confuses what is happening in its systems as a conflict. Think red blood cells attacking white blood cells. And it does so in this misguided notion that it's protecting itself from itself. This also shows up on the next layer as an imbalance of giving and receiving. We are all familiar with the term burnout for now, whereby you live to pay your bills. You find no joy or fulfillment in what it is that you do. One of the reasons being is you give too much and you receive too little. The third way it shows up is the imbalance or disconnect between the masculine and the feminine, the intellect and the heart. Not only are they completely divided, they're unable to coexist or co-agree with each other. We have witnessed this throughout history, but more so the last 10 years. We had an inflammation, think feminism or Me Too movement, where the feminine was working against the masculine. We have witnessed it in the call-out culture and the toxic masculinity culture, but also in cancel culture, where any type of aggression and outward expression and young expression is what is called in self-development circles is completely cancelled out, is completely misdirected, is completely forbidden. Codependency and addictive tendencies in your relations. There is a theory that addiction is simply passion unrealized. And then there's another theory that says addiction is simply misguided aggression. Aggression is really an outward, dynamic type energy that is often witnessed in young males, and it's just the way that they relate to the world. Misguided, misdirected aggression means aggression turned against ourselves. Now, if we add into that the energy of passion. Passion is something that's also very dynamic and a bit of a driver. It's something that motivates us to move forward, to take action towards that which we want, which sustains and nourishes us. So when passion and aggression meet and they're turned inwards, what is created is this misdirection whereby we're looking to fill a hole with something that will keep us from fully expressing it. Codependencies and addiction issues tend to go hand in hand. It's showing us that we are squashing our self-expression, we're toning it down, misdirecting its flow. We are working against our natural instincts and intuition and our drivers. When we are unwell or out of balance with ourselves, we experience a sense of being ungrounded, disjointed and unrooted from the sense of who we are, but also where we are located. In other words, we don't feel the connection to the land, we don't feel connection to our ancestry and those who came before us, we don't feel connection to the soil, therefore we're not respectful of the life cycles that the earth, the animals, the trees have to go through, thinking that which creates and breeds a form of spiritual narcissism. Us thinking that we are the center of the universe and the universe literally moves in our honor. This breaks up the life cycle of the eco cycle, creates a sense of disconnect from our truth. And of course, when we are unwell, when we aren't living in our full capacity, when we carry dis-ease, meaning not easeful, we are unable to connect, to express and live big, beautiful, vengeful emotions such as joy, fulfillment, pleasure, creative expression, and bliss. That's because a lot of energy, a lot of potency, a lot of life force is misguided again and misdirected towards sustaining the status quo, and in other words, keeping us alive. Because when you are unwell, a lot of your attention goes towards putting yourself into optimum place whereby you are more or less healthy. This again plays into this idea. Healed means being whole. Dis-ease is meaning not being in ease, ease being one of our natural states of being. In order for us to connect to our humanity, to connect to our wholeness, to connect to our ease, we must come back to ourselves, which means we must come back to our body, which means we must come back to our roots, which means we must come back to our land. We must remember who we truly are outside of our jobs, contexts, titles, identities. Go back to the very core, the very simplicity, who we are outside all of that. If you resonated with this video, if this sparked something inside of you, I invite you to comment below with your ahas and breakthroughs. My name is Antonina. I'm a transformational coach and mentor for the 1%ers who are looking for creative solutions and strategies out of personal crisis or burnout.